Well, let me try this again. I deleted the first video from this week that I made of week 3 of week 6 of The Artist's Way. That's confusing. I'm on week 6 of The Artist's Way, but this is my 3rd week of sticking with it. I haven't actually ever gotten to do any of the tasks yet. There has been a host of things that have happened since May 30th, after my last update, the recap for week 5 from the garden. I fell on my way home, which messed up my knee, my left knee, my shoulder, my hip, my palms, my whole left hand. And that just precipitated a whole host of stuff. I was at urgent care 3 times, not the same day because I don't have a car anymore, so I have to wait until I can get a ride. So those urgent care visits came about a week and a half apart from each other. The first one, they decided I didn't need x-rays. I explicitly went there for x-rays 4 days after the fall because I'm scheduled to have my chemo port removed at the end of the month, and I have so much to do this month in terms of cleaning up the house and getting to the laundromat again with about 5 bundles of laundry. When I started the course, that whole beautiful first month, I had it spill over, like all the internal shifts that I was having, things that I didn't even think I was still able to achieve within me, and things that I had never achieved, like catching myself when my thoughts start spiraling and turning my thoughts around while also validating my feelings, not toxic positivity in any way. Validating what I'm feeling, accepting what is, but choosing to shift my focus to possibilities that might be available, to creative solutions, to being open to hearing and seeing and being present. So I was really proud of myself, and I got a lot of decluttering done. I got a lot of cleaning done, deep cleaning in the house, in the apartment. And I got 5 loads of laundry done in one day. I had to squeeze it into one day because I don't have a ride anymore, like I said, and I only have 2 couples and 1 other person to ask for help from. Really, like, in terms of rides, 3 people to ask for rides from. And they're all extremely busy with their own things. So I can't be, saddling them with all of my own needs, urgent as they are, like groceries, picking up medication from the pharmacy, laundry piling up to the point where I have nothing to wear, no clean towels. I need to change my sheets. Surgery's coming up. I need clean sheets on my bed. I need clean towels. I need clothes. I need to clean the house. My mom's got to stay over because I'll be sedated, and she stays over for the night when I get things like that. Also, this is a procedure where I won't be able to lift things, lift heavy things. I think they said like 10 pounds or something for the first couple of weeks. My poor mom is like 4'8" and she barely has any strength in her arms. I don't know how she's gonna help me, but she wasn't really able to do much for me during chemo when she would insist on staying here with me, and it would actually give me more work to do. But she wanted to be here to help me out, even though it didn't help me out. It's going to be a week of 100-degree weather, and I don't have air conditioning in here. That is going to be brutal because it's always so much hotter up here than it is outside. With the fact that my cuts keep getting infected, like my knee did when I fell after my last update from the garden on May 30th. And it took until just, I don't know, Thursday, Friday, for it to finally turn the corner and look like, you know, it's on the mend, not infected anymore. I had to go back to urgent care to confirm that, because to me, it was not scabbing over. It looked the same. I couldn't tell. Did I mention today was my last day of 10 days of antibiotics? I've made a video for this so many times tonight and deleted them all because they're too long. So yeah, my knee's finally not infected anymore. I got x-rays also, not at the urgent care center, except, yes, I got double x-rays. First, I got them at my cancer center because the first urgent care visit didn't feel I needed x-rays. They gave me a Tdap shot. They didn't even look at the cut, which I said it was starting to look infected already. They told me I would be fine. That was not my first choice of urgent care, but the radiologist was not in at the one 5 minutes away from me, 5-minute drive, half an hour walk, meaning an hour round trip, which is impossible when you hurt your leg, and you don't want to spread an infection. So I had to wait for a ride, and we went to this other urgent care, which was awful. They were great. The people were great. The care was completely useless, except for the Tdap shot, which I needed. My physiatrist on Wednesday, regularly scheduled appointment, he was just shocked that they let me go without x-rays, and he ordered x-rays. So I went to the cancer center to get them. I got the results on Saturday. I went on Saturday the 7th, and I got them on Saturday night. They showed no damage, which I would have been completely relieved, except they also showed an incidental note of a metal locator coil in the soft tissue of my left axilla. Problem, because that coil was placed in the very cancerous lymph node that needed to be removed last April, which I thought was removed. So, Saturday, no one I can call about it. I'm here wondering, have I ever been cancer-free? At this point, it would have metastasized if cancer was still in my body. The cancer was invasive. I had to wait till Monday and get on the phone, and I was on the phone all afternoon into the evening trying to get in touch with my tumor team. I hope you can hear me. I haven't put in my earplugs, I just noticed. So they finally called me back. Not my surgeon, the most important one. He didn't call me back until Wednesday. My radiation doctor, who is so compassionate, she quickly ordered me an ultrasound, but was quick to reassure me that I shouldn't worry, because surely during the operation with a sentinel node biopsy, the surgeon would have seen which nodes lit up and removed them. And he removed 5 lymph nodes. And I said, yes, but the coil is still in the soft tissue. And she said, maybe it migrated. Well, I had looked that up, and the chance of migration is like 0.03%. But she said it happens more often, and they're a cancer center, so I want to believe them. Then my oncologist called me an hour later, and she, who's usually very direct, and I wouldn't call her the comforting type. She was like a warm blanket of motherly love in her comfort. You know, really compassionate about what I must have been going through since Saturday with this on my head, and telling me, no, oh my God, don't worry. It's probably just migrated, but we're going to get a scan and check it out. That's the first thing to do, but I wouldn't worry. We see this often. The clips migrate, and if it's in your soft tissue, it's not going anywhere. So she put my mind at ease. And the x-ray was today, 9 days later. I went in today. They x-rayed. They couldn't find the lymph node. It was originally up in here. I don't feel it. I don't. I feel something else down here, which I had them look at. They don't see anything there. I'm glad. I'm glad they don't see anything fishy there. However, after 5 months of chemo and before my surgery, they gave me an ultrasound, just like today. And they pronounced me cancer-free. I thought it was a miracle, because the cancer in my left breast was 3.3 centimeters. And I had a couple of things in my right breast. Both had coils in them. Those coils came out. I read the pathology report 4 times before the surgeon ever even called me or ever even realized the pathology report was in. I had to call him and ask him when did he plan on calling me to discuss it. And he had told me it hadn't come in yet. I'm like, well, I read it 4 times already all the way through and looked everything up that I didn't understand. So if you look on my chart, you'll find it. And he looked, he didn't see it. I directed him on where to go, this many reports down, and he found it. This is why I am not assured by anything he says. It's things like this. That's not the only thing. By all semblances, he's an excellent doctor. He's been a surgeon for like 44 years. He's the director of the Surgical Oncology Center. His patients are very loyal and love him. He has great reviews. I chose him based on that. My own personal interactions with him have left me less than reassured because he has contradicted himself on multiple occasions, and I've caught him in several lies. And plus the way he acted to me during surgery, like before putting me out, that was unacceptable. So personally, I wouldn't recommend him. I'm not saying he's not a good doctor. He may very well be. And by all semblances, like I said, he's a fantastic doctor. But he wasn't with me. And I don't get to ask him questions. He has no patience for, I pull out a little slip of paper with 5 questions. And you know what he tells me? If you're going to start that, I'm going to walk out of here. That's not a doctor that I care to keep. So, and I choose my own doctors. And I have no problem with making myself heard. I don't feel comfortable around him. I don't dislike him. It's strange. I like his energy, but yet he's contradictory. On one moment he'll be cool, and I like the fact that he's always called me back when I called him before surgery. The way he was with me on the day of surgery was a shocker because I had never seen that side of him. Dealing with him after surgery, shocker. Different person. So, I'm sorry, but I'm very careful in choosing my doctors. If I had to have surgery again, unless he felt extremely compelled to fix a mistake, which at this point, if that was still in there, that would be a mistake he couldn't fix because it would have metastasized. In any case, they didn't find anything today. They left me with, I wouldn't worry, which isn't very reassuring because they brought up an x-ray. They brought up a previous ultrasound and showed me, and they're like, look, this was the one with the marker and it's no longer there. And I said, which marker? The coil or the mag seed? Because they placed things called mag seeds before the surgery. And mag seeds are magnetic little seeds that tell the surgeon with a wand where to go and excise, take out. She said, that's where the mag seed was. I'm like, aha, so that's the problem. When they put the mag seed in my lymph node, somehow it slipped and went behind somewhere. I spent like 3 hours in there. They were going crazy. And they were great. You know, they were so nice. And I like the place. They're really cool. But it slipped and it went behind the coil and they couldn't find it. So they mammoed me again. They couldn't see it in the mammogram. They ultrasounded me. They couldn't find it, so they left a note for the surgeon telling him, when you go in there, make sure to go 1 centimeter and such this direction to make sure to get the coil and the mag seed, because it seems to have slipped about that far behind the coil. But the coil is still in there. And the mag seed, the thing that lit up with the mag seed, is not. So maybe the coil migrated. That's the only hope I have. If not, it's still in the lymph node, and the lymph node is still in my body. Today they told me that maybe the cancer shrunk the lymph node, the chemo shrunk the lymph node so much that it's tiny now. And then I got radiation, and that took care of it. And now I'm on hormone therapy, so I'm doing all the right things, so I wouldn't worry about it. But I'm not doing all the right things because I'm broke. And I'm eating white bread toast and carton broth and store brand oatmeal, which is probably full of arsenic and lead, and bananas, which is probably the only healthy thing I'm eating, and avocados, which if I can get like 4 non-moldy avocados for $5, that's like 4 days of lunch for me. So I'm not on an anti-cancer diet. I'm on an anti-cancer diet. And I'm about to lose my insurance. So I wouldn't be able to continue to get care or to even take the hormone blockers. Never mind that I'm on medication that if I stop taking it abruptly, I'll go into seizures or have a heart attack. I don't know what I'm going to do, but 99.999% sure they're going to take away my insurance because of this administration, which has added an enormous amount of stress to my already pressure cooker stress, which I had managed to get under control in week 1 regardless, and I was amazed, and I was headed in the right direction, but I haven't been able to get back since, and with all this stuff happening, it's been very difficult to concentrate. So I'm stuck on week 6. Recovering a sense of abundance, which is a very important chapter for me. Plus, it's the middle. And I've been doing the morning pages. I filled up 1 whole notebook of morning pages and affirmations, except last week I didn't do affirmations, but for 1 day, which came out as, I didn't even intend to do this on purpose, but it came pouring out every time that I thought I was at the end of my rope, but I managed to get out of it in my life. And all the successes I've had that I could think of. And I wrote, and then I went up the side margin and up the top, and I still had more inside of me. So that was very therapeutic. But that's the only time I was able to do morning pages last week. Then I finished this notebook on the 13th. It went on the 12th. It went from April 13th through June 12th. And then I started on this new notebook on June 13th. That's funny. April 13th on the first one, June 13th on this one. And I started my morning pages, and, you know, I did do Friday, Saturday, I did every day of morning pages. But for a while there, for a good long while, they were cranky and angry and just depressing, and it was really hard to follow them up with affirmations. The first time I did like proper affirmations again was on this Monday, the 16th, and I only did 5 5 different ones that just came to me as I wrote. And I was like, that's good. That's good for now. Then today I did my morning pages as gratitude pages. And it felt really good. I did all 3, and then I did 1 affirmation. And I was like, that's my affirmation for today. I trust in the universe, God, cosmic intelligence, the universe, the universal laws, all is well, all manner of thing is well. That's something that I read. What saint said that? Saint, my goodness, what was her name? She was, people would come to her and look, like go talk to her in a window of like a basement, sort of, through the bars, and she would give them counsel. I forgot. I read some of her writing and it was kind of inspiring. But she said, all is well, all manner of thing is well. And that just stuck with me. And I repeat that to myself as an affirmation sometimes. Again, I'm not religious, but I am very much into reading about the saints and iconography, Catholic iconography. And I will even go sit in a Catholic church when there's no mass going on. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm open to other religions as well. I'm very open. But I do have a place in my heart for something's Catholic. Like when I started doing the rosary, and this is a special rosary that I didn't get to tell you the story of, and maybe one day I will. I'm rethinking the stories I wanted to tell you because, I don't know, like as time passed, 65 days have passed actually, because I stretched out week 1 and 4 and now week 6. And I find myself lower than when I began. Instead of surrendering, I'm finding myself falling backwards. And I need to turn myself around. I find myself questioning myself of whether I should pull all the videos. And no, I don't want to pull all the videos. I said I was going to put them up there because maybe they'll inspire someone if I manage to get myself up. Imagine if I manage to get myself up from this and onto my feet, but in such a solid way that going back and looking at these videos and hearing me talk about how hopeless and how no light at the end of the tunnel I felt, and how I didn't even want to be here, and that the only reason I'm here is because my mom's still here. That'll be so inspiring at that point. So I want to leave it at least until I finish. If at the end of this I finish and everything sucks, or if I become homeless before then, because I only have enough to get through, not even through July, I have enough to get through like mid-July. And only because of the last minute help of 2 amazing friends, like a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, when I put out a plea on my personal Facebook, because I've been embarrassed to put out pleas on GoFundMe with everyone hurting. Like, things are so bad right now. I feel bad asking for myself as much as I need it. I need it desperately. I can't even overstate that, especially now with the prospect of losing my insurance. Like, if I can just get my medications at least, not going to the doctor for checkups, if I can at least get my medications, and if I need to go to the ER, they have to take care of me, I would think. I don't know, like, when I would get, because it would take me 6 figures to get my own insurance without, they want to close the New York State of Health and all of that down. Like, that's not even an option. Not that I even have the money for that, because that requires a monthly payment and co-payments, which I don't have. I want to make it, but I have appointments every week. I won't have appointments when I lose the insurance, so there's that. But then I won't be able to get care. And I don't have transportation. So how do I get a job without transportation? I can't get to the job. There's no commuting that passes through here. I don't know what to do. And so that's why I'm doing this. I need to surrender. I'm still having inner shifts. I'm noticing things within myself, contradictory things. I'm noticing how I absolutely need to work harder to take control of my mindset. And control isn't the right word, but it is the right word. I don't know how else to put it. I cannot be falling down these spirals and expect anything to get better. And I have to see something that I'm not seeing. I have to find the answer. It's got to be there. It's already 32 minutes. I'm going to stop now and I'm just going to put this up. I didn't mean for it to be this long. I don't know how to talk short, but especially on a thing like this. Anyway, I think I've said about all I need to say today. I will check in again by the end of the week, and I will hopefully have done enough of chapter 6 to move on to chapter 7.